I did question, have I done the right thing? When I was seeing other mums on Instagram saying that this was like the best thing, they slot right in, and that wasn't the story for me, I was like, what am I doing wrong? Hi guys, welcome back to another episode here on Normal Mum. Guys, last week we talked, didn't we, about how I'm so not feeling myself this postpartum, and I'm going to level with you. I have not washed my hair in approximately a week, and I'm pretty sure that is what is contributing to me feeling like a complete shell of myself. But yeah, this is just where we're at. Like, I have been asked so many times recently, like, oh, what are you using on your hair to slick it back? And literally all I can say is grease, literal grease, because I've not washed my hair in so long. So that's what we're kind of just dealing with at the moment, which brings me, to be honest, to what we're going to talk about today, which is the jump from 2 to 3 kids, or just the jump in general, because everyone loves to talk about that, don't they? Like the jump, where they're like, oh, what was the jump like? You know, how have you found the jump? It's like everyone uses that same language and we all know what it means. Like if I said, you know, oh, how did you find the jump? You would fully understand what I'm talking about. It's like that parent mum lingo that we all kind of, you know, say to each other. But I thought that we could talk about it because, like I said, that is like the number one question that I have been asked, not only by parents who are considering the jump or parents that have done the jump, but also parents who are literally in the same boat as me, that are literally like, girl, how have you found it? Because if there's one thing that I have felt this time round, is completely lied to. Okay, but we're going to dive into all of that. And that's why I wanted to tell you a little bit about my hair, because I just don't want you to be out here judging me. Okay, we're all in the same boat. We're all just trying to live our best life. And like I said in last week's episode about postpartum, I always come last. And of everything about myself, my hair is the thing that is always coming last at the minute, because slick back buns, they might not be in as such, but they're going to be for me, okay, for probably the next 18 years until my kids are literally out of my hands. But anyway, let's dive in, or let's jump in to today's episode here. Thank you so much for clicking on Normal Mum. Grab yourself a cup of tea and let's get into it. So yeah, the jump. Okay, like I just said, it's like the number one question that I get asked. And I sometimes feel like even going from 2 to 3, the amount of people that are kind of like that question has been asked so much more, because I think it feels like, oh, you know, you're outnumbered now. Do you know what I mean? Like you've not got enough hands. Just this weekend, I was speaking to somebody. We were at a family wedding and they were asking me about the jump. This particular person has got 2 sons herself. And she was like, oh, I never really wanted to go for the third because, you know, I've only got 2 hands. I just didn't want to. And do you know what? I'm going to be real with you. Like, I understand that. Like the outnumbered situation is real. My heart has never been more full, but my hands, like it's overflowing right now. So before I jump into my story of the jump, I wanted to hear from you guys, okay? And I actually asked on my Instagram this week how you guys found the jump, right? So 0 to 1 children, 58% of you said that was the hardest jump. 1 to 2, 34% of you. 6% of you, 2 to 3 children. And then 2% of you, 3+ children was the hardest. And I'm just going to say this, okay? One person actually DM'd me saying, I'm actually on my 9th baby, so I will let you know. Like, sorry, 9. Like, you know, if you think you're having a bad day, yeah, and you've got like 3 kids like me, I'm just going to think about her who's out here with 9 children, and I will just raise a glass to her in those moments. But anyway, that is what you guys said. And I am so with you. The jump from no children to 1 children is by far the biggest jump. And we started having children when we were literally so young. I was 21 when I first had my first child. And that was such a jump for me, because I think they always say, don't they, like your 20s are your years that you find yourself, like figure things out. Like I didn't even get that chance. Like I hit my 20s and I was straight into mum mode. Like I didn't have time to find myself. I was too busy giving all of myself to this baby that I had to keep alive. Like, do you know what I mean? But because we were in that phase of having kids, like even though we were still super young, we just decided that we were going to go and just have all the kids in one go, right? Like, yeah, it was going to be hard. We were still like, we didn't have really the money to be doing that. We didn't really have the situations to, like we were both running businesses at the time. Like I had a really short maternity on both the kids at the beginning. And we were just like, you know what, we're just going to, yes, it's going to be difficult, but we would just rather the small age gaps. Now, I am going to say I do now understand why people love a bigger age gap when the kids are young, because having Solomon be 4 years older than Roman and actually understanding is incredible. Like I remember when Saint came along, it was like, no one understood a thing. Like it was just crazy trying to communicate to a toddler, but we'll get into that. But we decided that for us, a small age gap is what was the best thing, because we were already having no sleep. Our house was already upside down. Our social life was non-existent. So we may as well just get them all out the way. Do you know what I mean? So for us, that jump between no kids to having kids obviously completely changes your life. Like there is no, let's not make any bones about it. Like, let's not make any excuses. It is literally single-handedly probably the one of the biggest things that can transform your world is having a baby. Like you go from having the time as your own to being able to be a little bit selfish to literally having a full-on dependent who quite literally cannot live without you. Like they cannot live without you. And you are thrust into this completely new world of feeding, changing, injections. Are they okay? Are they healthy? Are they up to date with things? Are they up to date with their development? Like how many hours have they slept? I'm not sleeping. Are they sleeping? Like it is a complete 180 on your life, like in a way that just nothing ever hits you before. Like it's crazy. So I can fully see why that first jump from one to one baby is ridiculous. Okay. But then comes the jump from 1 to 2, which for us, to be honest, was lovely. I loved going from 1 baby to 2 babies. Reason being, we already had the routine, all right? We were already getting up early in the morning. Hey, husband, who gets up at 6 a.m. because I am not a morning person. Like, shout out Ben. He takes the morning shift 9 times out of 10. So he's there, we've already got the routine. We already kind of know how it goes. You're not kind of learning how to be a parent anymore because you've already done that, right? You know how to change the nappies. You know what you want, what you don't want. You know how a travel system works. You know how to put the car seat in. There's things that you just know second time round that you just had to learn first time round, which makes, I guess, the transition that little bit easier. And for us, the only thing that we really needed to sort of navigate was the balance. Okay. So that balance between having 2 kids, 2 kids that need different things from you. At the time, Solomon was a toddler. So, he needed stuff differently to what the baby did. And it's just kind of figuring out how it all works in a whole new way. You know what I mean? The balance, the juggle, childcare, all that kind of stuff. But that is a lot easier to me than the whole change of lifestyle, because you've already, like I said, your social life is already non-existent. So you may as well add more to the brood. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So when it came to finding out we were pregnant with a third and making that decision, so many people would say the jump from 2 to 3 is so much easier than the jump from 1 to 2 or anything you've ever experienced before, because you already know how to balance. You already know how to divide your time. You're already in it. I can say one thing from my experience is that's a lie. Honestly, going from 2 to 3 was like a baptism of actual fire. I felt like I was what is going on? The first 3 months of being a parent, I felt like I had a child attached to me or with me the whole entire time. In those newborn stages, I wasn't catching a break. Like, and I don't know if it's because Roman, the third baby, he was the hardest newborn ever. Like, we were in like the trenches of reflux. Now, if you've ever had a baby with reflux, my heart literally goes out to you. Like, you will know that reflux is such a difficult thing to navigate. Like, the babies just cannot be lie down. Okay, so imagine when imagine now you've got a newborn, you're loving life, you're thinking, baby's asleep, let me just pop them down while I go and take a shower, or I'll pop them down while I just have a quick tidy up, or let me just pop them down so I can have a little bit of me time. When your baby has reflux, the minute their head, their back, their body hits the surface that is not being upright in your arms, they're awake and they are screaming. So for us, when we were already balancing 2 other kids, and also in the mix is the second child, which is notoriously busy. Okay, everybody knows that second child is a wild card, right? We're already dealing with them. We now have a baby that doesn't want to be put down ever, right? So I don't know if that's what was contributing to the baptism of fire that came. Also, let me mention in there that 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks postpartum, 5 days postpartum, I went back to hospital, leaving Ben with all 3, only to find out the day that I was admitted to hospital to have nursery call me and tell me that my son had chicken pox. So we were now also confined to the house, right? It was indescribable. Like, when I genuinely think back to those first couple of days, I'm actually like, how did we survive? Like, truly, how did we survive? But we got through it, okay? So we were in the trenches of reflux. We had chickenpox in the mix. I was back in hospital. Like, it was just like, woo, we are doing it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know if that tainted my view of the jump from 2 to 3 is the fact that third, whatever that wave was of just like, we are going to just make Carys's life hell. Like, whatever that wave was that just came to just try and steal my joy and pop my newborn bubble, like whatever that was, it just, I think, maybe tainted my view of going from 2 to 3. But what I will say, right, is like, everyone does something, they talk about the jump, but everyone's experience is so different. And I remember sitting there on Instagram, and it's quite funny because at the same time as I had a third baby, there was a couple of other mums that had also had a third baby. And they were there talking about how amazing it was and how the baby just slots right in. That was the language. Like, they've just slotted right in. And there I was, literally covered in sick from a reflux baby, with like my 2-year-old climbing on me, thinking I have literally got to go and do school pickup in a minute. And then the third one's going to come back and they're just going to be arguing and I'm still going to be here with a sicky baby on me. Like, I remember thinking to myself, like, slot right in. No, like, no, that is not my reality. And it literally got to the point some days where I would be like, what am I doing wrong? Like, why is everybody else having this amazing experience growing their family? And I'm out here literally surviving, like literally surviving. It would be like a case of, you know, Ben would have the 2 older ones and I'd be left with the baby, or he would have the baby and I'd be left with the 2 older ones. Like, I would always have Roman like attached to me, like in a sling, or, you know, I'd be just doing something really quickly whilst he was down for like the 2 minutes that he would actually stay asleep in the crib. Like, it was one of those things where I just felt like I was constantly running around, either on my own, like as quick as I could, or I had a kid attached to me, or I needed to be somewhere. And the thing as well, like what they don't tell you is obviously the more kids you have, naturally your older kids are getting older. And rightly or wrongly, we started committing to things because obviously for Solomon, my oldest son, I still want him to have, you know, his best life, right? So he's in school, which, you know, he's got to be, right? So he's in school. He also has swimming lessons. He also has decided now that he's into football. So he wanted to go to football training. So I'm out here like with 3 kids, but also like a million more commitments, because when I had the jump from 1 to 2, nobody was in school. So they had daycare, but they could go into daycare at whatever time worked. They didn't have to be at daycare at a certain time. With school, if you're not there by 10 to 9, you're literally like gates closed and Solomon has to go through like the reception door, which I never want him to do because I was always late for school as a kid. And I think I'm a little bit traumatized from it. And I just do not want that for him. And so, like, you have to be in school on time. And how are you supposed to do that when you've got a baby that you literally never know when they want to feed, or, who's got reflux and just throws up all over you whenever they feel like it, or doesn't like the pram and doesn't like the car seat because, they just want to be upright. Like, I just remember thinking, like, what have I done? And that was really difficult for me, to be honest. Like, and I didn't really voice it. I didn't even really voice it to Ben at the time because I didn't want him to feel the same way and almost have my emotions confirmed, because I just felt so guilty. And if I can be completely honest, which I know I can be with you guys, the amount of times that literally I would hold Roman and I would just cry, and I'd just be looking at him and I'd be crying and I would just be like, I am so sorry. And the reason that I felt the need to sort of apologize to him was because life just felt so chaotic. And it was especially, when he was going through the reflux and the kids were home with chicken pox as well. And obviously Ben still had to work, and he also works away a lot. And I think it was week 3 postpartum. He was away for like 3 days. And I just remember feeling like I needed to apologize to Roman, because I was just like, I feel like he just came into the world and then was just, I don't know, treated like an inconvenience is how it felt sometimes. Because I got frustrated that he wouldn't lie down like every other baby I had. I hated the fact that we had extra, doctors and health visitors appointments, that I had to work around the kids so that I could fix his reflux. It was annoying. You know what I mean? That I couldn't just take a shower without thinking I've got to go really, really quickly because he's literally crying. Like, it was a really, really hard time for a lot of us when we were going through like those early days with the chicken pox and the reflux. Like, it was really, really hard. And like I said, I did question, have I done the right thing? Like, surely, when I was seeing other mums on Instagram saying that this was like the best thing, they slot right in, and that wasn't the story for me. I was like, what am I doing wrong? Like, what is going on that I just don't feel good about this? Like, that this is like really difficult for me. And it stayed with me for quite a while. I think it was definitely until, we really started finding a bit more of a routine. And listen, Roman's reflux story is a whole different ball game that I won't go into detail on, but it was really when he started settling down that I really started to feel like, okay, this isn't the end of the world now. And it's really crazy because when I look back, it was only sort of like the first 6 to 8 weeks maybe that it felt that intense, because that was like peak reflux. Like, I just remember, just again to give you more context, it would reach 5:30 at night, and it was almost as if like this switch just like flicked with Roman, and he just would cry from 5:30 till 9 p.m. and there was nothing you could do about it. Literally nothing you could do about it. And I'm pretty sure now it was the reflux, because I never had that with the other 2 boys. Like, yes, we had the witching hour, but that was sort of like 9 p.m. Do you know what I mean? So we had the witching hour, but for Roman, it was like the witching evening. But obviously at 5:30 till 9, you've got dinner in there, you've got the cleanup in there, you've got bedtime in there, boys brushing their teeth, getting them to settle down, which is so difficult when, especially when there was times only one of me, so difficult when you've got a screaming baby. Like, you think the kids are going to settle down when their brother is doing the most? Like, no. Like, do you think they're going to brush their teeth when, I'm trying to like nurse and jump around with the baby in the carrier and brush it? It was just like, no. And there are so many things I literally picked my battles on. Like, ridiculous amounts. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, there were times where I just had to let Roman cry because I just had to see to the other kids. And even now, there are still moments where it does get on top of me, like where, you know, everybody needs something in one go and it does get a little bit overwhelming. But those early days in particular, like it was really, really difficult. And yeah, I think once we sort of got a handle on his reflux and he was able to be put down and like play, I cannot tell you the relief that that gave me. Like, I would celebrate the fact that he was lying down flat in the baby gym playing. Like, I would literally be calling members of my family being like, guys, Roman is literally on his back playing. He's not crying. He's not throwing up. He's literally smiling at me. What is going on? Like, I remember the first time he took himself to sleep. Like, I lay him down and he didn't cry, and then he took himself off to sleep, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I can feel it coming, like my happiness returning. Like, this is how it's supposed to feel. And to any parent that is going through like the whole reflex thing at the moment, or has a particularly fussy baby, I hear you. My heart goes out to you, like, completely. It's so hard. It's so hard. And I feel like nobody can truly understand how difficult that is unless you've been there, where you have a particularly needy baby. It is so different. Like, we know newborns are hard work, right? But when they're particularly needy, it's just so different. But anyway, it really felt like it was like going to be so long. I genuinely thought to myself, like, I'm never going to be happy again. Like, you know, happy is maybe the wrong word, but like, I was so happy. Like, my heart has never been fuller with my 3 kids. Like, I would look at them and I still do. And I think, how are you mine? Like, literally, how are you mine? Like, I dreamt of being a mum and now I have 3 kids. Like, when did that happen? And how did it happen? Like, I am the luckiest person in the world. And that's the weirdest thing. Like, when I was in it, I felt so overwhelmed, but also like so lucky and so blessed to be in that position. But I think that's also what was the hard thing, is I was like, I wouldn't change it for the world, but I kind of would. And it was like a lot. It was just a lot of emotions on top of postpartum hormones. Like, it really was like that, you know? So for me, that jump, if you want to call it that jump, I don't know if it was the reflex thing, but that was really, really difficult. And I think the hardest thing definitely was hearing other people kind of talk about it in such a lovely way that made me just feel like I was doing something wrong. Like, what am I doing wrong that I am not loving being a mum of 3 right now? Like, what am I doing wrong that I don't know if I'm coming or going? What am I doing wrong that I feel like my kids were acting up? Like, and that's the thing, like, that I think I also wasn't prepared for was, I knew that I was going to miss my kids, and I knew, like, the older 2, because the newborn does demand so much, and I knew that I was going to miss them. And, you know, of course, it's a change for everybody. But like, little things like Saint started regressing with some things like his potty training and stuff. And no one prepares you for how that makes you feel as a mum, like where you would feel so guilty. And like, he started, when we were going to nursery, saying he didn't want to go. And I knew that when he got there, he'd be fine. But just hearing those words, like, and I would deep it and think, oh, does he miss me? Like, is that what's going on? Is this like a cry? And it's such a difficult thing. Like, it's so hard to be in that place where you're so happy. And I knew that adding to the family, and even now I've always wanted 4 kids, and I know that if I was to have another one, I would feel the exact same way, because it happened the other time too, where I had this tremendous mum guilt for the older kids. But at the same time, I'm like, bear with me, guys, you're gonna thank me. And when I see Sol and Saint play in, that is what motivates me to get me through the hard days of babies being babies, right? And it did. Like, in those days where I would literally be getting up in the morning, I wouldn't even shower, I would just be straight to it. The kids would be crazy. I held on so much to watching the older 2 go outside and play together. I would look at that and I would literally be like, one day at a time, Carys, like, one day at a time. They will grow up. They will appreciate this. They won't even remember, like, they will not even remember how crazy and how little attention they actually did have with you in those early days. And I'm gonna be real with you guys, like, I was so intentional about time with the older two, like getting them involved with things, like making them feel like they haven't just been pushed to the side. Like I was really strict with that both times when we've added to the family, because I never want my kids to feel pushed aside and pushed away. It was a bit difficult, like I said, in those reflux days. But even now, if there's a nap time, I have had to learn, okay, let's not clean up right now, as much as it kills me. Let's not clean up all of the chaos. Let's just sit and play sand with Saint, or let's colour with Sol, or take them outside, or go to the football pitch and kick a ball around. Like, those are the things that they are going to remember from this time, is how much time mum gave to us when she could. And that is what I've just held on to, is like, I am doing the best that I can right now with what I've got. And I would say the same to you guys. Like, if you are in that phase where you're thinking, what have I done? I'm struggling. Ooh, I can't balance all of this. Like, just take it one day at a time. Like, I remember when I was in those early newborn trenches, I every single day would go to bed feeling like I've done an ish job, And it was hard. Like, I think, have I given enough time to Saint today, Sol today? Have I asked them about their day? Like, have I cuddled Roman enough? Or have I been too frustrated with everyone? Have I been too impatient? Like, I would be analysing my day, and that is so unhealthy. And I actually switched my mindset in the end, and we started introducing every evening as a family, when we have dinner, we sit down at the table and we talk about our favourite thing of the day. And it could be something as small as, my favourite thing of the day was coming home, finishing work, and just being with you guys. Another favourite thing of the day could literally be as crazy as, like, Solomon had his first football trophy the other day, and that was his favorite thing. Or my favorite thing was jumping on the trampoline with dad. And when you start doing that, you start seeing literally their childhood through their eyes, and you start seeing the things that they actually take from that day. And it just meant that at the end of the day, we were focusing on all of the good stuff that had actually happened in that day. And literally, Saint is 2 years old, okay? 9 times out of 10, he copies Solomon's favorite thing of the day. But it was just the best little thing that we started bringing in to, like, dinner time as a family, mainly because, twofold, we needed the kids to sit at the table. And if they were feeling like they were involved in conversation, they would sit better. But also, I wanted to know about their day, and I didn't have the time to be asking them and sitting down with them in, a really big way like I used to. Like, I wasn't really doing bedtime because, like I said, we had that 5:30 crazy couple of hours where I would have the baby and Ben would then go and see to the older boys. I didn't get that nice bedtime with them anymore. So that favorite part of the day thing that we started introducing just helped me get through, like, those difficult days more than anything, because at least when I was going to bed then, I wasn't thinking of all of the bad stuff that I felt, that no one was even telling me, that I was kind of saying to myself. I was just focusing on Solomon's favorite thing of the day today was time with his dad on the trampoline, or Saint's favorite thing of the day today was going for a baby chino with mommy while Roman was asleep, or, you know what I mean? And it's like, that is what shapes you as a parent, is those little wins. Like, that is what gets you through every single day, are those little wins. And bringing that in genuinely, like, it saved me in those early days, because it gave me something else to focus on rather than, internally criticizing myself. But that to say, it does get so much easier. Like, I sit here now and I could literally tell you, yeah, 3 kids is a breeze. Like, I love it. I'm in my routine. We found our flow. Roman's thriving. He's amazing. He's the most contented baby ever. If he's not sleeping, he's literally smiling. Like, he is the ray of light that this whole family just loves. Like, every single person of our family just loves him. You look at him and he beams at you. Like, whether it's Saint, Sol, mum, dad, grandparents, whoever, he loves you. And it's just, when you lock eyes with him, like, I just feel so grateful every day of my life to be in this position of being a mum of 3. So anyway, I wanted to just quickly hear some stories from you guys, okay, about you guys' experience of the jump, just to finish off, okay? Just to kind of see if it's just me that was literally surviving, not thriving in those early stages. So this is what some of you guys have said, okay? 2 to 3 has been a breeze. Everyone's experience is different, right? For me, not the story. We've just heard it, okay? This person loves it. 0 to 1 was hard. I felt adding 1 to 2 wasn't easy, but nowhere near as hard as 2 to 3. Sis, I get you. Like, literally, I get you. From 1 to 2, I struggled with guilt in the early days, even though they were content and had the gift of each other. Literally, we all feel it. Like, we absolutely all feel it. 1 to 2 is a breeze, but 2 to 3, honestly, is the hardest thing ever for us. I'm really struggling with it. See? Everyone's out here, right? Was scared of 3 at first, but the best thing we could have done, although thought she was a boy or something like that. I don't know. My third has showed me that I need to slow down and I don't need to rush everything. Do you know what? I can vouch for you there. Like, after the chaos of the day, having that baby in the midst of craziness, it reminds you how quick and fast life goes and how much you have to treasure every single second. The woman who's having the 9th, it's loud and hectic. They've just added their second boy. It's magical and lovely seeing them together, but loud and hectic. Someone here has found it really hard. 2-year-old turned from a princess to the devil. This is what I mean. Like, nothing prepares you for how the older kids are going to deal with it. Some of them thrive, others just don't. Mum guilt, a lot about here about like mum guilt. So what I'm trying to say, right, is, this. Oh my gosh, this, right? Adapting to my new life. 2 to 3 is wild. Like, me and my husband, our relationship really suffers, right? You know, like, literally, like I said earlier, right? Me and Ben just split the kids all the time. Like, we rarely get time for ourselves right now. And that is something that at the beginning I really, really struggled with. But anyway, we'll talk about that on another episode. I've already spoken for so long, but I just wanted to get some of you guys' opinions and stories in here, because the whole point of this podcast is I want us all to just feel so normal and heard and seen. And listen, I'm putting myself on the line here and telling you about my stories that I could quite possibly be cancelled for, hated on, or judged for. I don't know, okay? But that's why I wanted to listen to some of what you guys are saying, because I was that person that in that jump from 2 to 3 was thinking to myself, what am I doing wrong that I am not having this experience that everybody else seems to be having on social media? But let me just remind you, based on some of those stories, some people love it, some people thrive in it, some people survive in it, some people don't know where they're coming going from 1 minute to the next. We literally cannot judge, we cannot compare. All we can be is supportive queens to each other as mums and just get through it together, right? So thank you so much for joining me on today's episode. Please reach out to me. I want to hear so much more from you guys, your stories, your realities. Like, literally, we are out here just living life, okay? So anyway, thank you so much. Have the best day ever. I will see you again in the next episode. Thank you for joining me. I love you. Bye.